Hi, Gabriela. Okay. We're going to start discussing a lesson about modals expressing degrees of necessity. Okay. We're going to start with a video, a grammar video, a teacher that explains the topic. So
we're going to focus on today. They are must, has to, which is also have to, and has got to, also have got to. So these three work as modals do, in that you need to have the base form of a verb after the modal. So the base form, wear or go, do. So everyone must wear shoes. Everyone has to wear shoes. Everyone has got to wear shoes. What is the difference between these modals? Well, must. Today, the use of must for necessity or requirement is very little. We basically use it in written form. It's often used to talk about rules, laws, regulations. It is rarely used in speech. We do not often say, you must do that. I must go shopping today. It's not common. In speech, we usually use have to, has to. That is the most common. It can be written also, spoken or written, but must is considered the really formal form. Have got to. This is more informal. It is generally in spoken language. And it can be used to express some urgency. It's emphatic, gives emphasis. You might think you haven't heard this before, but you might have heard it as a contracted, shortened form. Instead of I have got to, you might have heard I've gotta. I have got to, gotta. I've gotta. She's gotta. He's gotta. We've gotta. They've gotta. I've gotta go. I have got to go. I've gotta go. That is common in speech. Also, have to, very commonly, is said have to. Have to. This is not recommended in formal situations, but it's what you will hear very often. So it's important to understand it. Also, when you're using have got to, sometimes instead of saying have gotta, we put emphasis on the got. I have got to see that movie. She has got to call me. Has got to, have got to. Stress on the got when you want to give it a little punch. Gives it more emphasis. All of these, there is only one past form, and that is had to. You cannot use must in the past when you are talking about necessity. You cannot use have got to in the past. There is no had got to in English. Now, this causes quite a bit of problem for many English learners, right down here. Difference between don't have to and must not. They are totally different in meaning. Lack of necessity. Don't have to means that something is not necessary. There is no requirement for it. A person is free to do what they want. Basically, it means you don't need to do something. Must not is prohibition. It keeps the meaning of necessity, but now it is necessary that you do not do something. So I've tried to put these down here to clarify. If instead of saying the affirmative up here, you said, you don't have to wear shoes, that means it's not necessary. You can decide if you want to wear shoes, okay, but you don't have to wear shoes. You can take your shoes off, no problem. You must not wear shoes means it is necessary to not wear shoes. Maybe you go inside of a religious building and you must not wear your shoes in the house off. It is necessary to take them off. So, different ideas here. Over here, I have some sentences to try to practice these modals. So I would like you to pause the video, look at these choices, and fill them into the sentences, and then continue the video to get the answers. Are you ready?
Okay. Are you clear with the use of must, has to, and has got to? Where do you use them? Okay, as she's saying, must is where is used more for rules, regulations, for the use of law, and it's basically used in written form. It's a formal way to express a degree of necessity. Have to, it's used spoken and written, but it's most for your spoken language or conversations. And then you have got to, which is emphatic, okay? Like you really mean what you're saying. So in the first sentence, I need to make dinner, but first I go to the store. What do you think is the answer?
But first I have to go to the store.
Okay, I have to go to the store. Very good. Listen, Timmy, you hit your little sister.
Must not.
Must not, okay? It's giving like a rule, all right? The third one, when we run out of gas, we
Have to walk.
Okay, we have to walk a couple of miles to get help. I am sorry, sir, but you can't come into the laboratory dressed like that. You absolutely
Must.
wear the proper safety attire or the proper safety clothing. Number 5, you have A, B, and A. It's a conversation. Can you come over to my house for dinner? That sounds great. Would you like me to bring something? No, you?
You must.
You must not bring anything. Just come. And the last one, wow, look at the sunset. Look at that sunset. David, come here. You?
Must.
Must or have to say this. Okay? Remember that she's talking to Daniel in that part. Yes, Diego. Okay. We're going to stop the video there because I saw many of you were yawning. And we're going to go to the book. Let me find it here because I had it ready. Okay. Models to express degrees of necessity. Whether you express the necessity or lack of necessity in the ones you express your ideas in a written or spoken form. Look at the photos on pages 52 and 53 and discuss the following questions. What are the people in the picture doing? Do people do these things in your culture? What are some things that should and shouldn't be done in your culture? Make a short list. Okay, I want you guys to start sharing here. What is it that people should and should not do in your culture? Okay, in your Honduran culture. I want you to mention those things that should and shouldn't be done. Vamos.
Miss, one.
Yes, Alberto, go ahead.
The one in here in Honduras for everything that we made, we have a birthday or something, always need to be drinks in that type of party.
Okay. People always celebrate with alcoholic drinks. Very good.
Miss,
Yes, Alejandrina.
¿Cómo dice? Comer tamales en Navidad.
Okay, to eat tamales in Christmas.
Or visit the family in Christmas.
Okay. Or that when you go to a birthday party, people expect for you to take a present, right? And that is something you should do.
Miss, or in the parties, always para comer dan como arroz con pollo.
Okay. Very good. Okay, what we should and shouldn't have done. I will start the reading and then I will ask one of you to continue with it. Can you see it correctly?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. A few months ago, my company sent me to work at our branch office in Japan. My colleague, Masayuki, and Yukiko, his wife, invited my wife Helen and me out to dinner one night. Although they were very polite and friendly, we didn't feel that the evening went all that smoothly. In fact, we had the impression that we've made some mistakes in etiquette. I asked my friend Junichi about our experience. Continue, Emily.
He's lived in Japan and the United States. He knows the cultural differences. He gave me several pointers, so now we know what we should and shouldn't have at dinner. I continue?
Yeah.
Junichi's first tip was about shoes and sitting down. Some Japanese restaurants have Western-style furniture, but our restaurants had pillows you sit down on. We knew you're supposed to take your shoes off in a Japanese home. It never occurred to us that we should take them off when we sat down on the pillows. Junichi said we definitely ought
Very good.
to have done that.
Manuel, continue.
His second pointer was all about chopstick. We both used them a couple of times as Asiatic restaurant in the United States, albeit not very skillful, and we thought we knew the rules for using them. However, I saw Masayuki grimace a bit when I used a chopstick to spear a piece of meat from above. and passed it to Helen. He grimaced again. Then Helen used one of her chopsticks to point at the bowl of food she thought was tasty. Junichi
Junichi Shoko.
chocolate. One thing about absolutely must not do it is use a chopstick to spread food and pass it to someone.
Hold on.
So, to someone else. That reminds Spanish people of the custom of passing cremated at the funeral. What's next?
Okay, thank you. Continue.
We continue.
No, Lizzie. Where's Lizzie? Lizzie Zamora.
Yes, miss, I'm sorry. Is that I only see something black in the wall? Well, so we continue to make a few more blunders. I took a bottle of my salsa on the table and poured it all over my eyes. Yukiko seemed a bit shocked when she saw what I was doing. Junichi chuckled again. You shouldn't ever pour soy sauce directly onto your food. What you have to do is pour soy into a little dish next to your plate and then dip your food into it. And you've also got to be careful not to waste the soy. Just pour a small amount of it into that dish.
Okay, Gabriela, continue.
Then I remember another point of etiquette. Do you have to finish everything on your plate? I asked Junichi. Towards the end of the meal, Helen still had some food left, but then our waiter brought her some more. If you finished everything, that basically means you're satisfied with the meal and don't want any more. If you still have food on your plate, you're signaling that you want another helping, replied Junichi. Until there, or I
continue, babe.
The next pointer was about not using your handkerchief. I'd been suffering from allergies for a week or so, and suddenly I felt I had to blow my nose. I got out my handkerchief and did so. Both Misayuki and Yukiko again looked somewhat surprised. What did I do wrong? I asked. Junichi responded, you're not supposed to blow your nose in public. Consider it appropriate. What should I have done? I was desperate. Well, you could have gotten up and gone to the toilet, or you could have sniffled. I thought that sounded odd. Sniffled? Yes, it's considered acceptable to sniffle to avoid blowing your nose.
Okay, thank you. Good. Sofia Gurcia, is she here? But I thought she's not. Miren, chicos, el diablo sabe más por viejo que por diablo. No se confundan. ¿Vieron la serie Lucifer, verdad? Bueno. You should. Not trying to play the clever ones. Angie Galeano, finish the reading. Angie.
Finally, the dinner was over. As we got up to leave, and I asked Masashi if we could spin the bill with him. He looked troubled, and I said, no. He and Yukiko was overheard of us to pay. I said to Helen, well, I have been better leave a trip. She nodded, so I left some cash off the table, just as we were putting over costs on the restaurant entrance. Our waiting came running up to us and hands me back the money. When I asked Junichi about it, he said, "You are not supposed to leave trip in Japan. It is not come out at all." I asked what we mean to do to express our appreciation to Masajiki and Yukito. Shall we respond by invent Masayuki and Yuki out? Yes, I think you ought to do that. Junichi had given me good advice. I thought what really struck me is how much we all have to learn about our culture.
Thank you, Angie. Okay. Complete the sentences, words from the box. Okay. Ustedes son malos, me vieron aquella vez batallando y no me dijeron nada de esto. Number 1. To be is polite, kind, and pleasant.
Etiquette.
Huh?
Etiquette.
Gracious.
Okay. Something true is something true in general.
Overall.
Overall, very good. A person's line are people that he or she works with.
Colleagues.
Okay. Something that seems is something strange or peculiar.
Odd.
Okay. If something hasn't to you, you haven't read
Occurred.
occurred. To is to do or give something because something similar has been done or given to you.
Reciprocate.
Okay. When you behave politely, you follow rules of?
Etiquette.
Okay. If you say clear, cold weather, you mean weather that is clear although cold.
All right.
Okay. Actually. Yeah. All right. Complete the sentences, circle the correct answers. Alejandrina, the first one, please help us.
The author and his wife didn't know they should remove their shoes when they sat down on the pillows.
Okay, the author and his wife knew or didn't know? What's the... This one, right? Didn't know?
Yes.
Okay. The second one. Japan, it's unacceptable or is all right to use a chopstick to spare food and pass it to someone.
Unacceptable.
Okay. Y aquí que con las manos nos tiramos el pedazo de pollo. At a meal in Japan, one should pour soy sauce directly on rice or into a small dish.
Into small dish.
It's a small dish.
Oh, Diego Funes, I was missing you when you were absent, baby. The author and his wife thought or didn't think it was necessary to leave a tip.
Thought.
Okay. Because of the cultural background they had, right? According to their Japanese friends, the author of his wife should invite Masayuki and Yukiko to their home or a restaurant for dinner.
Their home.
Okay, in here we have the models to express degrees of necessity, okay? In here you have the ones for you to express 100% necessity and the ones here for 0 necessity, okay? So obligation or necessity, you have you must, you have to, and you have got to, is what you watch on the video, okay? You must call them, you have to call them, or you have got to call them. Either of these 3 is correct, okay? Now you must not, you can't, or you are not allowed to call them. You weren't allowed to call them. For advice, okay? You had better leave early. You should leave early. You ought to leave early. You had better not leave early. You shouldn't leave early. Then you have the example for advice. You should have left early. You ought to left early. Okay, you see the difference in the verb? That's the only difference. You shouldn't have left early. For expectations, you are supposed to take a gift or you are to take a gift. But I told you, you are supposed to take a gift when you go to a birthday party. And you are not supposed to do this or you are not to do this. You were supposed to take a gift in the past or you were to take a gift. Okay? So your work right now is the following. You are going to write examples with obligation, only 2 examples, okay? You decide how you use, if you use must, if you use have to, or if you use have got to. 2 examples for advice with the ones you have here. 2 examples of expectation and 2 for suggestions, okay? Okay, 2 of each. Vamos, chicos. Take out your notebooks and working.